Okay, welcome back to another edition of Real BatDude Reacts. This is my second attempt at doing this because the first time I recorded it and posted it, the audio was real low. The court's audio got really low. So, also I'm using a different microphone. It's a HyperX, and we'll see how that works out. So, this is court resuming after the lunchtime period. So Amber Heard testified in the morning session, and now it's the evening, and after lunch, and she's restarting her testimony again. So bear with me. Let's check it out. And let me get rid of this. Sorry about the wait. And go here. And we're going to go ahead and get this going. We have the...
thank you. All right, let me see your next question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here we go.
Amber, following the plane ride, what did you do once you arrived, once you landed in L.A.?
I called for a car to pick me up, met me at the private airport, and I left. I got straight off the plane as soon as we touched down. Johnny had been saying what he would do to me once we got on the ground, and I didn't know how long this cycle would last, so I wanted to just get out of there.
So this is after the abuse on the airplane that she's alleging.
Went to a hotel and called my friends to join me, which was my coping strategy at the time.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to take a look at Defendants 204.
Sorry, adjusting the microphone here. And you can see...
Did you reach out to...
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and bleeding.
Your Honor, I would direct Your Honor's attention to the first one in blue and the third one in blue, and I would say present sense impression and the state of mind at that time.
All right, you want to approach?
Yes.
So you notice that they just got Johnny a fresh drink, and the attorney to the left of him, our right, is holding up her notepad. It's just so she's shielding, I might have said it before, so she's shielding the audience in back, not the jurors, from seeing what's on the screen, whatever they may be attempting to show. And right now there's an exhibit up there, and they're objecting to it. And I believe they're going to... I believe the judge here is going to rule in favor of Johnny and have it taken down. But they argue for a good 3 minutes here in front of the judge. And I have to say, it appears from watching the trial, I've watched every single day, at least I think I have, all the witnesses. I think I have most of the objections that have been proposed by Johnny's team have been agreed to by the judge. Most. More so, it seems, than the defendants.
All right, let's go to 205. Defendants 205. And this is a communication between you and Rocky Pennington, your best friend, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Objection, hearsay.
You want to approach?
Now, I believe that in the beginning days of the trial, I mean the whole first 14 days, or 13 and a half, was all testimony by Johnny and or his witnesses. And when Johnny testified, I mean, he's such a big star that the defense attorneys really let him talk more than he should have. Really, really did. Because he was allowed to drone on, if you will, I'd probably say as much as she is, but in a less hyper-dramatic way. Later on, you'll start to see Amber get more and more dramatic as she's crying and breathing heavy, and every little question she breaks down. And again, she has already, this is 6 years ago, from 2016 to now, plus she testified, I think, in a 2020 lawsuit in London, where she testified for 4 days. Why are you breaking down so much? You haven't emotionally prepared for this? I mean, it may not have been the exact same testimony in the London trial, but I'm sure it's pretty similar.
So 205 with redactions is in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we publish to the jury? Thank you.
It is.
So, Rocky on this is Rocky Pennington, your best friend, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And when did you send this communication to Rocky?
Once I had touched down in LA.
Okay. And you said, I'm not good. What did you mean by that?
That I needed help.
Mind you, this is...
I was scared.
This is...
I was scared of what had just happened to me.
June-ish?
What was going to happen to me. I was scared if I left him. I was scared if I didn't.
Of
I needed help.
2014.
I just needed support.
And
I
she
couldn't-
still
I didn't feel safe
got
going
married
home.
in
I still had my
2015.
place in Orange. She had keys.
This is 2014.
I was scared.
This is at least...
Did you text your mother and your father about this incident?
Objection, hearsay.
at least 8 months before she got married.
What, if any, communication did you have with your mother or your
So she
father
needed
following
help
this
and-
incident?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustain that objection.
Let's go to defendants 222, and Your Honor, I suspect we're going to be back up.
All right, you want to keep on approach? That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, hold on here. I'm going to check my camera real quick. I'm sitting in a different spot than what I was. We're going to let the audio still fly. Let me see. We're going to go to our pregame warm-up again and just see where I'm at. We still have the audio going. There. That's a little better. It's not that's just a white sheet in back of me that I use for eBay. So I just kind of wanted to see if I'm in the similar spot than I was earlier. Because my last video was... I did about 6 hours ago. So this is not a post show. Just checking the camera. Let's go back to the action. There's still silence, and oh
What,
God.
if any, communications did you have with Kate James following the Boston plane incident?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, if we go to 224,
Okay. 224.
my argument would be business records exception.
All right, you want to come forward? We can do it.
I think Kate was her personal assistant. I think she's going to testify at, and I think she possibly, I don't know if she already testified or not. I think the attorney is going to reference that she did, but I don't know. I don't remember seeing her unless she was a witness called on behalf of Johnny. I'd have to check out her deposition. I mean, her testimony. I'll have to do a search and see if I missed something, but you could do the same. I think it was her. It's either her friend or her assistant. And she wasn't. If it says business records, so it has to be her assistant. Yeah. So her attorney is seeking a business records exemption from the hearsay rule. And there may be different hearsay rules and exceptions in each state. And they're in Virginia, so what they have hashed out in that state, this attorney is seeking to use that exception to allow her to talk about Kate,
So
which is her personal assistant.
what, if anything, did you do the evening of the 24th of May?
I reached out to friends and family, asked for support,
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
and surrounded myself with them with that.
What, if anything, did you do for Lily Rose's birthday?
That's why we had gone back to LA. Johnny was sick.
So Lily Rose's birthday
After having
was
passed out on the
in
plane. So I took her to dinner.
late May.
We went to Benihana's.
I want to say.
Because, again, put on my smile,
Hey Siri,
took her out. Tried
when was
to
Lily Rose,
make her
Johnny
feel
Depp's
loved
daughter, born?
and celebrated for her birthday. And
Here's what I found from Wikipedia.
then I booked a flight out
Yeah,
to
on
New
May
York
27th.
to go back to New York. Obviously without Johnny.
So
I'm going to ask you to now turn to 225.
her stories of the Met Gala, being abused at the Met Gala,
And Your Honor, I'm
this
going
plane
to
ride
be
home,
referring to the last two blue spots.
and
on
now
that
this
page
testimony regarding
with the
Johnny's
state
daughter,
mom.
Lily Rose. Her birthday was in May. All this is happening within 1 month. That's a
Mental
bad
condition.
month.
All right.
It doesn't, it's still hearsay, Your Honor. May we approach?
Yeah, you want to go first?
The month of May of 2014. Because I think based on, I don't remember Johnny's testimony or her early testimony about the date of their marriage, but I think the internet record is going to show like February of 2015. So she's angry about the plane flight. She's angry about the Met Gala. She's contemplating breaking up with him. But yet 8 months later, she still gets married. Something's not adding up. She's a strong-willed woman from Texas. Can't get bucked off a horse. Daddy's daughter. Daddy's tomboy daughter. The son... She was the son he never had. And somehow she's just, I guess you could call it the victim mentality of the abused. If it's true, she keeps coming back. But
I'm going to ask you to turn now to 228.
all the witnesses' testimony on Johnny's side shows her as a really strong, really conversational, dominant person.
Your Honor, we're going to object on hearsay.
Doesn't make
line,
sense.
Your Honor,
Okay.
is all I understand in Your Honor's ruling, but I think
Is it Gatorade?
You can come forward, that's fine.
And we're arguing again. Well, you could say this. At least her attorney is trying her darndest to get every single kind of conversation in there. Okay. Exciting stuff. Sorry about the boring video. But we're doing this in half-an-hour chunks. I guess I can move it forward a little bit, but we're testing out the audio levels of this court proceeding. I had to bump it up. The first time I did this review of this testimony was earlier today, and the court's audio was really low. And I didn't like it. So my commentary is probably a little different because I also started off at a little bit different point. I'm going to cough here. Excuse me. Well, maybe I can move this forward a bit. I mean, really. Let me see if I can just boost it forward just a tad. Oh, they're coming back.
so. Tell us please tell the jury what you did then over that night, the next day, and at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I cried a lot. Tried to surround myself with my friends and resolved to leave him.
I resolved to leave him, but I married him
felt-
8 months later. She just got engaged, mind you.
Powerless. Nothing I did made a
And
difference. You know, on the plane, I was so careful.
Objection.
March
Unresponsive.
time, I want to say.
And you can tell how you feel, but don't go backwards, okay?
In March of 2014-ish, right around there.
Resolved, tried to, the strength to commit to leaving him. I knew I had to.
I knew I had
This
to.
would make a difference.
Uh-huh.
So I got myself back to LA. Excuse me, New York. And started going to Al-Anon meetings every day. It's a support group for people who love addicts and alcoholics.
Because I love Johnny.
What, if any, communications did you have with Stephen Duders?
Objection. Hearsay.
Your Honor, let me ask it this way. What, if any, communications did you have with Mr. Duders communicating on behalf of Mr. Depp?
Too much.
Objection.
You see the
Hearsay.
attorney in the back? She's just shaking her head like, oh my God,
For that.
you're trying
Right,
again.
Let's go to 229A.
She's just shaking her head.
And could you, without saying what the content is, can you tell us who this text message is with?
Johnny's assistant.
What's his name?
His name is Stephen Duders.
Okay. And what, if any, communication were you having with him following the Boston plane incident?
Objection, hearsay. May we approach?
All right.
Amber's probably sitting there like, holy crap. I need to tell my story. They won't let me talk. They keep objecting.
Have you grabbed any rice?
Not yet. That was my son. I guess he butted in at a good time. He's 19, and you've seen him in a bunch of videos. There's a bunch of videos with him in. He's now 19, actually almost 20. And he cooked some fresh steak fried rice. But it's now almost 9 p.m. here in Chicago on a Friday evening. And by 6 o'clock, I was starving hungry because I didn't eat until midnight the night before. So I went from 12 midnight through 12 in the afternoon through 6 in this afternoon without eating anything. So I'm like, bro, I thought you were going to cook. You know, you're going to cook, you know. I'm awake all day. Your brother's been to school and back, and cook. I thought you were going to cook. Well, I will. You know, 3 hours later, he's finally done. It's like, you know, God bless him. I appreciate him cooking, but I suppose I could have went another 3 hours, but I had to eat something. I was just stark hungry. So I made myself some creamy chicken flavored rice, you know, like one of those packets you cook. And then what I did was I fried up some lean ground turkey and put some spices on that. And then once the rice was almost done, I folded that in there and made a little snack, a little turkey and rice snack. It's very good. It was very good. Could have used a little like Parmesan cheese or maybe a little bit more salt, but I only wanted a little snack to tide me over. And then I ended up kicking my feet up at my desk here, and I passed out. Not like passed, you know, just I fell asleep. And gosh, I mean, that had to be maybe from 7:30 to 8:30, right around there, something like that. So we're back at this, trying to redo this part 5 of our series, part 5.
Did you communicate at all with Mr. Depp in the days following the Boston plane incident?
Yes, I did.
Please tell the jury about those communications.
So they sustained the objection.
I heard from him directly. I also heard from him through his assistants who were texting for him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
You're not allowed to testify about the text messages with his assistant, but can you tell the jury about your communications with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of confusing because
It's not
he's texting
confusing.
through them.
You testified
I'll
for
sustain the objection. I'll
you
strike that from the
testified
record.
for
The judge regarded
4
that
days in
testimony.
London.
Please answer
You
the
took a
question.
deposition.
Just confine it to the communications you had with Mr. Depp, please.
That he was sorry and told me that he was in a blackout. He didn't remember everything, but what he did remember, he was ashamed of. He begged me to forgive him. Said he understood and forgave me if I never wanted to speak to him again. he texted me at one point, and then I didn't respond right away, and he texted me again that he understood that I had made my decision to move on, and good luck, and I was better for it. And then continued to
so if it's true,
contact me. I spoke to him.
He let you go
on the phone, and he said that he was he had a chip, or that he was going to meetings, that he I think at the time mentioned another celebrity that was kind of advising him on sobriety, or not advising him, but encouraging him. And he was saying, well, look, me and this person, we even went to a meeting. I've got 3 days sober, 4 days sober, and that was the last time. The monster will never come back. Monster will never come back. And because it felt like it felt so much worse than it had ever been before. And because I had, I went to New York, and I was trying to get my strength to leave him. I actually thought that it kind of would be the turning point. I thought I had effectively...
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Yeah, I thought. She's what did he say? Oh my God. She wasn't asking your reaction. She barely got out of her mouth that he said, baby, I'm going to let you go. I understand if you're mad at me, but I've been to AA. I have a chip. I got a friend or a sponsor or someone who's mentoring me. I mean, my God. A narcissist, she turns things back on her. You'll see more of that later. However, if her testimony is true, he may definitely feel that way, He wants his own addiction more than her. He wants to control it for himself. And, if her testimony is true, he was probably being sincere.
Overruled.
Thank you. Go ahead. Please continue.
I thought things would change.
Okay. Did you draft any kind of email to Mr. Depp to express your emotions and how you felt about all this?
Objection, hearsay.
Well, let's go. I'll lay the foundation, Your Honor. Let's go to defendants 239.
239.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
And I would say both present sense impression and definitely state of mind, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
So, did you ultimately communicate to Mr. Depp what you first drafted up in an email without saying anything about what's in the email?
That calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
I'm just asking if she did.
Did you communicate with Johnny, yes or no? How?
What she said.
I sent an email. I mean...
Overruled.
We emailed each other,
to Mr.
period.
Depp what you had drafted in the email, and you don't get to say what you said.
Yes.
Okay. And
what are you
what
crying for?
Response did Mr. Depp have to your sending that email to him?
Such an actress.
He came to New York
Heavy breathing.
to fight for the relationship, for me, to prove that he was sober and he was committed to changing.
Ugh. Cry. Deep breathing. Her repertoire is paused, over-dramatic sentences,
sorry,
heavy breathing,
and I believed him.
and crying on command.
So I took him back, or I got back with him.
I'm not trying to just be mean to her.
On the condition that he would uphold his promise to do the treatment, to do the full detox, clean up.
Well, you're an angel. So I forgave him once again.
I'm going to take you now up to the June through August 2014 time frame. And I think you testified earlier, and others have as
I'm
well.
not
that
mean
Mr.
because she's a
Bryan,
woman.
Dr. Kipper.
Something about her that just rubs you wrong.
Could you please describe for the jury what those next few months were like?
She just seems fake. It's just something about her that just comes off as fake.
This
I
doctor
don't know why.
gets brought on that we had been talking about. I'd heard this name before. And all of a sudden, this doctor, Dr. Kipper, who apparently wrote a book on addiction and
No one asked.
was this doctor was going to be the solution, the cure.
I'm pretty sure he already testified as well.
And he got brought on board, and all of a sudden, the plan was that this team would be involved in Johnny's recovery. So it felt real, it felt serious. I felt like protected. You know, I had already by this point heard a million times, it seems like, promises to get clean and sober, but this felt like a change. And they were going to come to Boston and start working with Johnny, and the plan was to keep Johnny on the same level of drugs that he was on since he was filming. They needed him to finish filming the movie, so he was going to be maintained with his with prescription pills, including the painkillers. And the plan was he would obviously abstain from alcohol completely and all other drugs like weed and coke. And then when he finished filming, the plan was to do
Objection,
the full
Your Honor,
detox.
hearsay. And lack of foundation.
I don't understand.
His attorney in back of him, who's wearing the green outfit,
Explaining the context there. I don't think she was saying.
most of the
Foundation, how she knew, but it's fine.
How did you
first
know
couple
that?
of days she was sitting
I
up
was
front.
involved
She's
in
a
the
very pretty woman.
conversations
She's sharp, though.
with the doctors and with his sister.
Objection,
And
Your Honor,
nurse.
that's still hearsay.
All right, I'll
Okay,
sustain the
that
objection.
That part is. So, what happened next? As a result of these communications, without saying what the communications were?
A nurse came to Boston where Johnny was. I just would come for short periods of time in between, on weekends from filming until I wrapped my movie, which I did, I think in May, if I am not mistaken.
Well, you're in
And
the.
then
You've
I
been
went to
talking
Boston,
about
I was there
May.
and saw, a nurse was flown out to Boston, Debbie Lloyd.
May was the
and
Met
I mean,
Gala.
Kipper
May was
came
the
out
airplane
too,
flight.
And
May was
they put Johnny on a bunch of
his daughter's
new medications,
birthday.
which they shared with me, told me about.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Well, we have to be careful about what other people told you. Okay, but you can
Okay,
testify to
so-
what you know, okay?
So hold on here. We're going to end up right here, and I appreciate anyone who's watching and the other videos. We're going to pick up with the rest of her testimony. This is part 5. We're going to go for a part 6. We've now caught up and we've done what we did before. So I'm going to be uploading this really soon here, and we're going to be doing part 6. I thank you guys so much. If you like the content, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I would appreciate your support. And yeah, thank you guys. Love you. See you guys later.